Normally, representatives at the Vatican read the script, but on this occasion, Dan Brown's name was enough. They were never going to let the filming take place here. Because the train goes all the way around the outskirts of Rome, you're better off to save yourself half an hour and get off at San Pietro, which is right by the Vatican. Just down from the station is your first clue. Dan Brown missed this one. It's the sign for San Pietro. Walking down from the station, you enter the Vatican at Piazza Sant'Ufficio.
The plot, and there is one, the bad guys, more about them later, have stolen some antimatter and hidden it in a canister looking like this. We have 4 hours to save the Vatican. The battery goes dead, the Vatican blows up. Well, unless they're supercharged batteries, then we have a bit longer.
Tom Hanks arrives at the Vatican and decides he needs to go to the library to look at the archives. To get into the archives, there's quite a queue, so Hanks bought a skip-the-line ticket. Actually, he didn't. You need special permission to go into the archives, and you have to get it from the Pope. Hanks was never going to get that, so they built the archives in a studio.
I'm in the Vatican Library, and I'm glad to see they've got all Dan Brown's books on their shelves. But the clue won't be hidden there. That would be too obvious. How about the Lost Gospel? No, that's too thick. Let's try Virgin Voyage. I'm in the Vatican reading room, which no one has ever seen, looking for clues. No. Oh! Go to the pantheon.
You could buy a 150 ticket, which will last 100 minutes, or you could do the whole Angels and Demons tour on the tube for €7. We're at the Pantheon, which is outside Vatican City, and we know that Angels and Demons did actually film here. Probably the only place they did come and film was here in the Pantheon, but that was a bum steer. But entrance is free, so that's a bonus. The giant hole in the centre of the dome is called the oculus, and originally it served as a kind of chimney for the smoke from ceremonial fires that were buried in the temple floor. In Angels and Demons, the detectives mistakenly assume it is what is meant by the demon's hole in the first riddle. Hanks finds a plaque which says that the body of Raphael was relocated to the Pantheon. You won't find it here because it was only in the movie. He has this confirmed by a nun, so he goes off to the Santa Maria del Popolo, where the body originally was. As squares go, Piazza del Popolo is quite impressive, and those in power at the time in 1826 were still holding public executions here. The execution bit is relevant because Dan Brown claims in his book that the Illuminati, a group of scientists, were reaping revenge on the church who in former times had persecuted them for their beliefs. They were seeking a different kind of truth. The Santa Maria del Popolo was designed by Bernini, and it was here that the first cardinal was found dead on the floor with his mouth stuffed full of carbon. The first clue was earth. Dan Brown said there were 8 chapels in here, although there were actually 6, so actually Dan Brown got it wrong. After a disastrous start at the Pantheon, Langdon comes back to the Vatican. While walking across this car park, well, not this actual car park, Langdon realises that the second clue is air, and that the angels on the tiles at the base of the Egyptian obelisk are all blowing air. The cardinal was found dead with his lungs punctured on these steps at the base of the Egyptian obelisk. Obviously, it couldn't be done here. It was done on a backlot in a studio in Los Angeles. There are 16 tiles around the base of the Egyptian obelisk, and they all represent different points of the compass, and they're of angels blowing wind. You may think the tile doesn't look like the one in the film. That's because it isn't. That one was made in a plasterer's shop in Los Angeles. This points to the third clue. This is the Piazza Barberini, where they placed the church of the Santa Maria della Vittoria, although it's not where it actually is. This is the church of the Santa Maria della Vittoria, where the third cardinal was found dead. The clue was fire. He was found dead in front of a statue of Saint Teresa. She claimed that an angel had pierced her heart and she was on fire with the love of God. St Agnes in Agone was built in the 17th century by Baroque master Bernini and stands right opposite the fountain of the Four Rivers. The Fountain of the Four Rivers stands in Piazza Navona, and this is where the fourth cardinal was drowned. The fourth clue was water. The murderer drove a van up in the road right next to it, dragged him out and pushed him into the fountain. After 4 dead cardinals, Hanks realises he has to get back to the mausoleum, Castel San Angelo. Hanks is looking for a manhole cover, not this one, not that one. It's one where there are a set of cross keys which tells him that St Peter was crucified upside down. He knows he needs to lift it and go down the manhole. Hanks runs away from the castle to the Vatican. He runs along this wall. This wall is 800 metres long. Guess what? He never did it here. He did it in a studio. Rome and Vatican City was CGI'd into the wall section. The popes are voting in the conclave. The people are in the square, waiting. They want to see the smoke change colour from the chimney above me. As you can see, there's no chimney there at the moment. Firemen erect the chimney for each vote for a new pope. Throughout the film, there is a confusion with Vittorio de Vetera. Is she the love interest or the confidant? I mean, if she was the love interest, surely they would have stopped and had a romantic meal somewhere like this. We filmed tours on the Britannia, the Arcadia, the Azura, and many more, and port stops all over the world. Follow us on Twitter or Facebook, and book your holiday through us on our website.